Hello, Solidus here. Today I am going to be talking to you about world questing in Shadowlands. Yes, the daily thing that you did throughout Legion and Battle for Azeroth that pretty much put you to sleep. Going to be talking about some of the changes that are incoming in Shadowlands so you know exactly what to expect, what I think of them, what you get from them, and just, yeah, because I haven't seen loads of people talking about this, so I figured I would do a quick video just to share with you how it all works. So there has been some changes this time around in how world questing and emissaries work. And the first major thing is they are no longer called emissaries, they are called callings instead. Now, previously, with the way this worked, as I'm sure you knew, you would look on your map every day and you would see in the bottom left-hand corner the emissary that was up for that day, and that would typically mean that you would go and complete four world quests in a specific zone. And once you had done those four world quests, any of those four world quests, you would be given a reward, and that could either be gold, it could be Azerite power, or it could be a specific piece of gear, or Azerite gear, for instance. That has changed, and that is no longer the case in Shadowlands. So, like I said, they are now called callings, and the first major difference is that you don't get them automatically. You have to go and pick them up. So you can see which callings are up for the day by clicking on the little icon in your mini-map where you can see your soul binds and the adventures that are available. And just here, you can see that I have three callings available. I have Training in Maldraxxus, Challenges in Revendreth, and Storming the Moor. Now, what you have to do is you have to go to your Covenant Hall. I'm a Venthyr, so I'm in Sinfall, and you have to go and actually collect them. So you can see what the quest is, the calling is. And this one here, I either complete the Destroy the Dominant World quest, Sanguine Depths dungeon, or the Halls of Atonement dungeon in Revendreth. And this here gets you a Favour of the Court. And within there, you will get things to help you with your Covenant. So what you have to do is you have to go around and you have to pick up the 3 or the 1 or the 2, depending on how many that you have got for that day. And then you can actually start progressing on it yourself. Now, what you need to note is these do vary in terms of what you are asked to do. So sometimes you have to just do 4 world quests, for instance. And other times you have to do what you've just seen there, complete the dungeon scenarios or a specific quest. My actual preference is the dungeon one, the one that you've just seen me pick up. And the reason being is because I've found that to be typically the quickest. So this one here, all I have to do, and it doesn't read particularly well, is I have to go and do 1 dungeon. Now, that for me, if you could just go into the dungeon finder, you can queue up for a normal dungeon and you can run it. And once you're geared, you'll be blasting through them fairly quickly. So you can do either Halls of Atonement or Sanguine Depths, or you could do this world quest. This is actually maybe the quickest calling that you can do. The one that you've just seen me pick up here, the Training in Maldraxxus, yesterday when I did this on my other priest, this was actually 4 world quests in Maldraxxus. And when you look on your map, as you can see, there are only 3 world quests, and there is a pet battle one to make 4 if you're into that kind of thing. But there are 3 world quests up. So you might be thinking, well, I'll just go do those 3 world quests. Yeah, you absolutely can. Yesterday when I did this, it took me around about an hour to do these world quests. And for one of them, part of it was bugged, but it didn't really stop me from doing it. But it was a world quest where I had to come down here and on the map, and I had to loot 4 items or 3 items. But the zone was just swarming in mobs, which were completely overpowering. And even when I finally managed to get a group to go and do this, it was still ridiculously challenging. So overall, to do that 1 calling of just 4 world quests, it took an hour. Now, as the expansion progresses and we get more gear, we get better stats and so on, there's obviously going to be a lot more people playing than there is on the beta, so you'll probably be able to get into groups quicker. Expect that time to come down. but you are still going to be spending quite a bit of time running around doing these world quests. The other one that you can see here, for example, challenges in Revendreth, what you have to do is you have to go around and you have to defeat a load of rares. So not only are they not marked on the map, but I know we've got add-ons which will have them. I think Handy Notes have already got something out in on Twitch, for instance, when you're downloading the add-ons. But some of the callings, you have to go out and you have to kill certain amount of rare mobs and get tokens from them. Now, some of these mobs are solvable and you can do it by yourself, and then others you can't. You definitely need groups to do it. But overall, you're looking anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour to do each calling. So that's 3 hours worth of world questing, essentially. Now, the good thing about this is it's not actually really dependent on the power of your character. So what I mean by that is it's not the same as what you've been used to, where if you do them, you'll get, like, I don't know, in Battle for Azeroth at the end, I think it was like a 445 piece of gear, for instance, Azerite gear. On this, you get stuff which will help you progress with your Covenant. So they're not actually a necessity for you to do. So as an example, yesterday when I did this, I got around about 1,000 anima to deposit into my sanctuary, my sanctum, my reservoir, which you do here, to upgrade your sanctum. Now, when you first start, obviously, 1,000 will be enough to unlock the first upgrade, pretty much, for each one, along with your willing souls that you get from them more. So, obviously, it's worthwhile doing to progress through your Covenant and to increase and get more rewards that way, but you're not specifically tied to player power on this. So if you're not doing them, your character isn't really going to suffer as much as it would have done in Battle for Azeroth when getting AP, for instance, and the reputation and so on and so forth. So they've really kind of stepped back from that, and this is probably focused for people who are more interested in doing like the Covenant campaigns and stories and so on and so forth, and unlocking that kind of thing, which obviously you're probably going to want to do over the expansion anyway, because just to see more of the content. But it's not going to hinder you a great deal if you're not doing these world quests day in, day out. Now, that's not to say, of course, that the world quests themselves don't drop gear, because some of them do. So yesterday in Maldraxxus, these world quests, one of them was dropping a 170 eye level piece of gear, some shoulders, but two of the world quests dropped the exact same piece of gear. So whether that's bugged or that's intended, I don't know. So you can get gear as an upgrade through doing these world quests, but they're not all of them anyway, and most of them are not a just go in, kill a specific mob, you're done in a couple of minutes type thing. And with the fact that we haven't got flying yet either, you're going to be running around the different zones a lot more. And in Maldraxxus, especially yesterday, I noticed that the zone was quite heavily packed with mobs. And once they've fixed all these bugs and the mobs aren't evading, it's going to make your journey times a lot longer. So overall, quite a few changes to the way that they work. But at the end of the day, there's still the same principle. Essentially, you go and do X amount of world quests to complete your calling. It's just that you are not going to be tied in and have to do these to keep up with player power, for instance. Which is a good thing in my eyes, because people that don't want to do them, you don't necessarily need to. So it's just a different way to play for people as well. So there you go. That's how this works. That is what the callings do. 3 of them, yeah. Same as before, you can get 3 of them, and you check here for when your new ones come up. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked the video and you found it useful. If you've got any other questions around things that are happening on the beta and how things are working, please let me know in the comments below. And if you're not already, feel free to subscribe to the channel for more Shadowlands news and updates and class guides when they come out in the future. And I will see you in the next one.